Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. I am Matt. Hope you're all doing well. Today, we are going to check out the Owl Starter Kit from Advken. Now, if you remember, I reviewed the Owl sub-ohm tank towards the end of last year. This one has the same tank, but it is a bit shorter, a little bit lower capacity. Also comes with a tube mod that can take 18650s, 20700's, and 21700's. Let's go ahead and dive into it. This is what your packaging is going to look like. So inside the sleeve there, you are going to have two separate boxes. Let's go ahead and break into the sub-ohm tank first. And inside you will of course have that tank, an extra bubble glass, an extra coil head, and this little baggie of spare O-rings and seals. So this is basically a shorty owl tank. I think it was about 40 millimeters tall from the base to the top of the included 810 drip tip, 25 millimeters in diameter, and then of course it bulges out. Remember, this one has top airflow, so it's got that bulge in the middle. Looks like a fat owl or something. Now, this one is shorter and only holds 3 mLs of liquid, okay? So it does have a lower capacity than the full-size owl tank. Airflow control is up here. I like the way they did the finishes on this. Nice matte finish with a two-tone going on. I think it looks good. To fill this guy, you got that arrow right there. You fill up right inside there, and you got to fill this one a little bit slower, if you remember, on the owl tank, because it's kind of a small area down in there for the liquid to pass through. And then you got this little nipple 810. Let's see if I just cut my nails the other day. Okay, I'm not even gonna try. I've gotten these off before, but if you have shorty nails, you might have to use something to pry that guy up. Just obviously you don't want to scratch up your tank, but that is an 810 drip tip, and you can use other 810s in this, but it is a pretty comfortable drip tip. Fixed gold-plated 510 pin on the bottom, not to be used on hybrid top cap mech mod, says Advken right there, little owl logo right there. To get to your coil head, you unscrew the base, and there it is. Now, I have this coil head in my other tank, so we're going to put in the other one. This one is a 0.2, best at 50 to 70 watts, single mesh coil. This tank is compatible with Baby Beast coils, NRG coils, anything else that's compatible with Baby Beast as well, obviously. So you're going to be able to find a lot of different coil heads to use in this. The other one that comes with this is a 0.16, best at 60 to 80 watts, also a single mesh coil. Different shape though. And now remember, this has top airflow, and the airflow comes down through these channels right here, which take up some space. That's why you have a limited capacity on these tanks. And then the air goes inside there. See those slots on the side? Feeds into your coil head and up through, okay? So I'm gonna prime this up a little bit, put it back together. It's a little squeaky when you tighten it up. I mean, the threads feel good, but it's got a little squeak to it. Okay, now we go to fill. And when you fill this, I mean, you can fill it up fairly fast, but you want to be doing some tilting and stuff too, so liquid can get over to that other side. Then we close it up, wipe off the excess there, and at that point, you can then adjust airflow. So here is the box for the mod. You open it on up. You're going to have a little manual inside this one, a little vaping and share your moments card. I think I've seen Advken put these in other devices as well. And then, of course, your device. So now the device is about 93 millimeters tall. At the base here, it's 27 millimeters in diameter, and then it narrows a little bit, as you can see, up to 25 millimeters. Now, it's making a noise there because there's an 18650 adapter in there. This is a combination of aluminum and stainless steel. Like this material right here does feel like aluminum. Feels like it's well done, but it's actually pretty lightweight for this type of device. You got a spring-loaded, gold-plated 510 pin, and there's your button, and it's got the shape of the owl right there. On the bottom, it says Advken, and you do some battery venting, little owl logo to open it up. Unscrew this guy. You're going to have an 18650 adapter inside there if you want to use 18650s. And you're probably not going to be able to see because of shadows, but there is a gold contact up top there that is spring-loaded. And so I'm going to use a 21700. These are the new home techs. They're the Home Run XL 21700's. Say they're 4007 milliamp hours, okay? So then I'm gonna go ahead and put positive towards the 510, then screw this cap on, and then we turn it on. It's 5 clicks, but you know, I was clumsy there. All right, so when you don't have an atomizer on here, it's just gonna blink at you like that. This does have a bunch of built-in protections for it, but does not have any kind of regulated wattage. So let's go ahead and screw on our tank. And it's actually kind of a cool looking kit. It's more unique looking than a lot of the stick mod and sub-ohm tank type of devices out there. It's growing on me. I think I like the look of this better than like a lot of the ones that Smoke does. Here is what they're calling stainless steel, but it's really more of a silver. And I think that one looks pretty cool as well. I like the two-tone color accents. And this one does have an Ultim tip. So now, once you have a tank screwed in, see how that's green? That'll be green from, I think it's 4.2 volts down to 3.5 volts. 3.5 volts to 3.2 volts, or no, 3.5 volts to 3.3 volts is yellow. Under 3.3 volts, it'll go red. And usually when it's red, you want to put a new battery in here. You can charge it if you like right there. But honestly, when it comes to charging, I would suggest just charging in a separate battery charger. It'll charge faster. I believe it's only 1 amp charging in here. I couldn't find it online to be sure, but I think it's only 1 amp. All right, guys, that is it for the up close. Let's go ahead, go up top, vape these, and talk about them a little more. All right, here's the Advken Owl Starter Kit. This one has the 0.16 ohm coil in it. Airflow is wide open, freshly charged battery. Let's vape it. Wide open, it's got a little bit of a whistle in it with this coil head. I like the airflow closed about 1/3 of the way, almost 2/5 of the way, I would say. Okay, this one has the 0.2 ohm coil in it. Let's vape that. And it's not as high pitched as the other coil head. And for some reason, on this 0.16 that you guys saw me put together in the up close, it's got more of a whistle than I remember the last owl having. And then here's the 0.2. I'm wondering if I have some liquid that somehow got in there and is making that whistle. I don't know, but it's kind of odd. But I know from using the full-size owls, I didn't have that much of a high-pitched whistle with those. It sounded more like this one. Something's going on with that coil head. Anyway, let's go ahead and talk pros and cons. Cons first. Besides that whistle with that coil head, there's not a bunch to complain about. One thing, obviously, is that you have less capacity on this one, so you're going to be filling it up quite a bit. I understand why they did it. They wanted to make it more of a shorty, smaller looking kit, but it's worth pointing out. Another thing that would have been awesome, but it would have made the device bigger as well, is some kind of regulated wattage. As is, you're just using that voltage straight off of the battery. It is very satisfying with the freshly charged battery. Once you get into that yellow, you can tell it dropping off a little bit, and once it hits red, that's when I want to charge. With the freshly charged battery, it's a good amount of warmth for me. I have no issues there, but still would have been cool if it was regulated. Besides that, like I mentioned, you got to fill it up a little bit slower because there's a small area for the liquid to pass through because you have those airflow channels inside there. So just keep that in mind. You might find you have to tip it. I could still fill this in like 30 seconds or less, but worth pointing out, you don't want to get an air bubble stuck in here. All right, let's talk pros. One of the better looking stick sub-ohm kits out there in my opinion. Yeah, the Owl's kind of funky looking. It almost looks like a big drumstick or something, but I like the two-tone and the color. I like that they didn't do like a super shiny finish or anything like that. So I think it's a nice looking device. And it's not too big, it's not too heavy. It fits in the pocket well. There's it in my hand. So I like the form factor on this for a stick style kit. and I like the way it looks. Another pro is obviously that top airflow. Some people have issues with making sub-ohm tanks leak. I don't have that problem as much. Vanessa will have that problem. It depends on juice thickness. Like I've said in the past, sometimes it's how you vape it. Some people have more suction. They draw more liquid into that coil head. But I know there's people out there that can just make just about any sub-ohm tank leak. So with that top airflow, it does mitigate that issue. Yeah, if you pull too much liquid into that coil head, it might be a little gurgly, just like a top fill or top airflow RTA or something like that, but you're not gonna have liquid coming out the sides. I'm gonna pull apart this red one here and like maybe tighten the coil head a bit. See if I can figure out why it's whistling like that. Let's try it now. Yeah, still getting it with the 0.16. That is odd. But not on that one. I've used those 0.16 coil heads in other owl tanks before, haven't had that issue, so I'm assuming it's an anomaly with that tank, but I don't know. It's definitely odd. Let me know if you guys that have the owl tank out there have had that issue. Besides all the cons I mentioned, it's a solid device and a huge pro that it holds 21700 batteries. You can get a lot of battery life out of this thing. For some people, it might even last them all day. But I would obviously suggest buying two 21700's, a charger, then you have one extra battery. Those two batteries will definitely get you through a whole day if the one does not. Build quality on it is good. The button feels nice and tight. There's no rattle or anything like that. The threads on this cap are good. A little squeaky on the tank. The drip tip is fairly comfortable. You get used to that nipple shape. The draw is nice. It's slightly restricted. Also a big pro that it'll hold Baby Beast coil heads. So just about any vape shop you go into will have a coil head that's compatible with this. So all in all, I like it. Besides that whistle, one of the better stick kits out there. I like the look of it. I like that it has top airflow. The tank gives off very nice flavor. And I like that it has Baby Beast compatible coil heads. It's gonna come in a bunch of different colors. You're looking at around 40 bucks. That about wraps it up. Until next time, thanks for watching. Suck my mod.